From Abu Dhabi with new resolve, President Tinubu shares the Nigerian project with leaders at the Sustainability Week out there in the United Arab Emirates. In other stories, political parties, a massive recruitment drive ahead of key election dates as Pandef wades into the Rivers State face-off. Also on the program, the key off-season or off-cycle elections in 2026 and their importance to the big one in 2027. I'm Fisaya Ogunfi. This is Political Update. Welcome. The Abu Dhabi Sustainability Summit kicked off today, and the President Tinubu, about an hour ago, addressed the session. The President spoke about Nigeria's plan to leverage on our natural advantages and resources to promote an earth-friendly development agenda.
The connections between climate and the global economy, health and energy systems, as well as food security, must now shape the way we govern and operate. At this defining moment in history, Nigeria stands with the global community, moving beyond ambition and towards delivery. The nation views the Nexus approach as an opportunity to align climate action with energy access, economic growth, job creation, and social inclusion.
We'll be giving you excerpts of that outing in our subsequent bulletins and some analysis as well. So keep it logged on the Nigerian Television Authority for President Tinubu's presentation out there in Abu Dhabi. Now, coming home, states and federal government must collaborate to achieve economic development and diversification. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this after briefing Vice President Kashim Shettima on recent events in that state.
Vice President coordinates a lot of activities, particularly in the agri sector. And we have a lot to share about the collaboration. And so in essence, this is the purpose of the visit.
Recently you decided to move your political party allegiance to the All Progressives Congress. Would like to know what has it been like since you defected?
It's an ongoing process. I don't like to use the word defect. I like to use the word realignment, and it's work in progress, and things are shaping up nicely. At the appropriate time, I will engage the media.
Moving down to the south, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEV, has inaugurated a higher-level reconciliation committee to address the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State. The committee is chaired by former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kanu Agabi, SAN.
Inauguration of the 7-member high-level committee for political reconciliation in Rivers State.
I will give my best. I will do my best.
It is expected to facilitate a fair, inclusive and sustainable resolution to the lingering political crisis between the governor of Rivers State, Sir Sim Fubara, and members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who are loyal to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike.
It started as it was a two-man battle. Now it is the entire state that is being affected by this unfortunate incident.
The president is the father of this country. He wants this country to have peace.
We from the region feel very uncomfortable that we appear on the media with all the negative publicity.
We appeal to the parties to embrace reconciliation. We urge them, we beg them, we appeal to them. Sacrifices are called for. Make those sacrifices and let there be peace. Amen.
PANDEV urged all parties involved to exercise restraint and cooperate with the committee towards an amicable resolution of the long-standing political feud.
Moving on now, political strategists say the year 2026 is a crucial year for the success of the 2027 general election. Two key off-season governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states to give the electoral umpire ample opportunity to perfect operations and for the voters to whet their appetite. Earlier, I had a conversation with communication strategist Abiodun Borishade, who says the performance of the incumbent governors equally affects the disposition of the people to take to the ballot. Now let's take a listen. All right, so welcome to the studio discussion on political updates. Many say 2026 is a crucial year because it's the year before the general elections 2027, and already momentum is already gathering in different parts of the country towards the key elections in this season. Talking about the two off-cycle elections in Osun and Ekiti State. What will the voter be saying when the fellowship between the thumb and the ballot paper comes into play again? We have a new sheriff in town, Professor Amupiton. Of course, he was the man who oversaw the off-season elections in Anambra State, the governorship election in Anambra State last year. But many said already the box had been ticked by the immediate past election umpire, talking about Professor Mahmood. But now the litmus test is here. Let me welcome our guest for today. Abiodun Borishade is a communication strategist who's been a keen watcher of the Nigerian political scene and has been perhaps ticking the boxes as far as development strides are concerned, looking in particular detail at states and how they have been developing governors, how they have been perhaps redeeming the pledges made on the podium while the citizens were still contemplating on their choices. Abiodun Borishade, welcome to Political Update on the NTA.
Thank you very much, Sayam.
It is a key year, 2026, and two key elections, off-season elections in Ekiti and Osun states. First of all, have the administrations in those states been able to capture the imagination to galvanize momentum towards those elections? Because traditionally, it's as if this is the precursor or some kind of tester or before the general elections.
You're right in your summation that the off-season elections in Ekiti and Osun will set a precedence for what would ultimately happen in 2027 in terms of voters' participation. If we look at Ekiti as a case study, the last governorship election witnessed 32% participation, which is low, but a slight increase in the presidential election from 32 to 36. That movement may seem insignificant, but 4% when you're looking at a huge population does matter. Currently in Ekiti State, the continuous voter registration program as of December had registered 34,000 new entrants into the register. And what that indicates is there is interest, there's ongoing development interest in who directs the affairs of the state. I know as a fact that the political atmosphere in Ekiti State, because Ekiti election comes before Osun, the political atmosphere in Ekiti State has been charged towards a particular candidate and a party, so to say. Nationwide, the erstwhile challenging or leading opposition party used to be PDP, but there have been internal wranglings. That in itself has cost them a lot of followership, which has translated into progress for other parties, particularly APC in Ekiti State. What is currently going on in Ekiti State is that the APC is actively on ground in every home.
Let me come before we even look at you, perhaps, the intervention of the ruling party in your state in terms of the development trajectory of the state. And look at some of the initiatives of the current administration from the center. And that is, perhaps increased spending in terms of the sharing to states, and the directive by the president that these monies trickle down to the local government level, especially, after the hue and cry of local government autonomy and all that. In that state, are we seeing that playing out? which has perhaps also made people more interested in governance? Or is it still the same thing?
Subnationally, that's at the state levels. For Ekiti State, the local government and LCDs have had absolute autonomy over their spending, over their affairs. They are constituted authorities through ballot papers. They were elected democratically. What we know is that the average Ekiti person would refuse to submit to bullying or heavy-handedness, particularly when they know that they have some form of authority within their...
And with the number of professors at every street corner.
So in terms of local government autonomy, it's absolutely in place in Ekiti State. I think that Governor Biodun Ibanji, has particularly done well by giving the local government authorities free hand to do what they should, what they are enabled to do based on the Constitution as recognized by the President.
And so looking at, that state, and of course we'll still perhaps in subsequent programs go to Osun State as well. First, Nigerian Television Authority will be there doing the previews, the primaries and all that, because that would be a template for what we will see in subsequent elections with all the new innovation that INEC will be trying to test during these elections. Now, just to perhaps look a little bit closer at the state itself, landlocked and all that, development strides and all that. In terms of general momentum towards development, would you say, the administration there has been able to advertise, the dividends of democracy as it were, not in terms of the cliche, but in terms of tangibles to the people?
Yes, I will take two things that speak for themselves. The current administration of Governor Biodun Ibanji has played to the strength of Ekiti State. It's an agrarian state. The farmsteads were abandoned over years, and that goes nationally as well because of the rural-urban migration. But what he has done through the Renewed Hope initiative from the national level, farmsteads have been reactivated. You've got close to about 100,000 youths, graduates, returning to farms. They've got farm hostels, and part of what has helped Ekiti in mitigating insecurity, we have very limited ungoverned areas. So the farmsteads have got life introduced to them through the various agricultural activities that take place there. Another area of strength which the administration has played to is on tourism. Roving hills, mountains, and a lot of encouragement, enabling atmosphere has been created for private.
I will not let you campaign too much of it for your governor, but of course you've advertised your state.
I'm not in government.
Yes, yeah, fair enough. You've been able to do that. But are we in terms of numbers, expecting more numbers? Voter apathy has been a problem. I've been there twice, and I even schooled there in my younger days. There are places on that Ajilozun stretch, yes, and then the other side, the Popoboro, where you see students playing football on election day instead of coming out. Are we likely to see such scenario at this time?
I want to confidently say that the voter turnout in the 2026 election will move from 32 to 50 or 55%. If we, psephology is a study of electioneering processes, and any discerning mind would know how to interpret figures if you're level-headed enough to sit down and crunch those numbers. With 34,000 already introduced into the voter register, these are young, vibrant people. They're not people who transferred their voter registers or their voters card to Ekiti. They're people who are of age, who have just reached that age. Now, with the various initiatives, particularly even at the grassroots village levels, I would say this: every Ekiti town is progressive by default, because you have them calling, say for instance, I'm from Iloro Ekiti. We have Iloro Progressive Union. You have Ikoro Progressive Union, Ikogosi Progressive Union, Ado Progressive Union. So with that mindset, the participation, awareness creation amongst the youth particularly has increased. And you can't shut down.
Before I let you go, in terms of the political class, not only in that state, but perhaps in the Southwest and other parts of the country as well, have we been able, not have we, because I don't participate in politics, but have you been able to advertise politics as a good deal for the people, investing their time, their energy, and their trust in it at this period? In terms of what we have been seeing, not necessarily in your state, but on the pages of newspaper, the open fights, the verbiages, the verbal jousting, and the accusations, and even sometimes some who have held position of thrust now being put in the limelight as suspects and all that. Have we been able to advertise democracy and civil rule in the proper way in this republic?
It's better to jaw than war. That's one. The youth, the next generation that will take over governance, have come to realize that minority would have their say, majority would have their way. What that means is the tenets of democracy have come to stay. And if you don't want to be cheated, your best option is to participate. You can't fight a boxing bout outside the ring. So if you're not contented with what the previous administration has done, your best way to remedy that, in fact, the only way to remedy it, is to mobilize and get involved in political activities. So the youth, the current, or the next generation, so to say, they are aware that power comes from the ballot. And if power comes from the ballot, you have to participate in politics. So political awareness is yielding, serious results.
All right, for the past 20 minutes, we've been speaking with Abiodun Borishade is a communication strategist with particular emphasis in looking at development trajectory of states, especially he's been biased, talking extensively about Ekiti State, but we'll give him that leeway simply because that is the first state that will be tasting the exercise of the ballot as far as the off-cycle or off-season elections are concerned this year. That has been Political Update, the guest segment. We'll continue with the program shortly. On to voters' membership drive, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Ntawe Uwada, has directed all coordinators of the ongoing nationwide electronic membership registration exercise across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory to ensure that no member of the party is left unregistered, so scheduled to end on the 30th of this month or risk removal from office. In the statement signed by Special Advisor, Media and Communication Strategy, Bimbola Toki, Professor Uwada said this when they met all the state coordinators who doubled as state organizing secretaries at the National Secretariat. Professor Uwada reminded the coordinators that they are not the foot soldiers of the party, stressing that when the party structures at state level are strong and functional, the party itself becomes strong, and charged the state party chairman to cooperate fully with the coordinators to ensure a seamless and successful exercise. Moving on, inspired by what he calls the impressive initiatives and development under the APC-led government at the center, prominent Kano philanthropist and former public servant, Dr. Mohamed Musa Zango, has joined the APC. Zango and his supporters were at the Zango ward in the municipal local government area to join the party.
Muhammad Musa Zango said his decision to join the APC was motivated by his desire to contribute his quota to the growth and strengthening of the party, as well as to support its vision for development and good governance.
So I was not searching for people that have integrity, people that have respect, people that love their people, people that want progress and development for Nigeria. I said, this is the way to go.
Party leaders described his entry into the APC as a welcome development, noting that his experience and grassroots support will further enhance the party's presence in the ward and the local government area. They reaffirmed the APC's commitment to unity and inclusive politics, assuring the new member of full support and cooperation within the party structure. In Kano, Masood Ali, NTA News.
The Forum of Senior Special Assistants to the Presidency, the progressive leadership style of President Bola Tinubu is responsible for the defection of opposition political leaders and party office holders to the All Progressive Congress. They say the APC is planning to deliver its best version to Nigerians.
Excellency President Bola Tinubu is a great politician. You can see how the opposition are jumping into our party, the APC. We have almost 30 governors now. When he was the candidate of APC in the 2023 election, PDP had 14 governors. 14 governors. Now I think they are left with only 4. 10 had gone. And ask me where they've gone to. 9 have gone to APC. Only 1 went to Accord Party. That is the Osun State Governor, His Excellency Adeleke. But the 9 PDP governors have moved in. As we are talking now, there are still some governors that are working to come to APC.
As it is, more and more people are waking up every day to understand that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Asiwaju is pro-Nigeria. They are seeing the changes when it comes to the economy. They've seen his vision, they've seen his passion, and everybody that knows that, Nigeria is at a turning point for good, they all want to be part of it. And that's the reason why you are seeing the mass defection. I mean, if a product is not sellable, nobody would want to get, to be involved in it, so to say.
Concludes political update for today. We'll be back again on Friday with a close eye on what is happening in Rivers. Some say it's the Rivers of intrigue, but we'll get to the bottom of the matter, hopefully, with our reporters on the field to get us the latest happening. Between now and then, do play your politics for the greater good and keep it logged on the Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.